it's Heidi Sawyer. What I'm going to do is give you a little bit of an explanation as to what telepathy is. Now, this is a particular area of psychic development that is very common in terms of your primary skill, in terms of one of the areas that develops first. That's especially so for a clairsentient type of person. Now, a clairsentient type of person is a feeler. Okay, there's a feeling type of person that you tend to experience your intuitive senses first as a feeling rather than a seeing experience. Now, at some point or another, you would have had the experience of knowing who's on the phone before you've picked it up. Now, that is an experience of telepathy. Now, how it works is it works better through the experience of the exchange of strong emotions rather than reading someone's mind. Okay, so it's when someone projects a strong emotion. This is why telepathy is something that's very common amongst close friends, close family members, all of that, those kind of relationship connections, because the bonds, the energetic bonds between those people are stronger than they tend to be around other people. That's how you are then able to really pick up on those people's thoughts or situations that are occurring for them. Now, this is something that is present in everybody. The ability of telepathy is present in everybody, but for you as a sensitive, it's going to be something that's much stronger than the average person. So you pick up people's thoughts and emotions in a much stronger way than perhaps someone who isn't nearly as intuitive as you are would do. So unless that person is experiencing a very strong connection to someone who's very close to them. So that's quite often why, there's people recognise when a close family member, or maybe on the other side of the world, is in danger or something like that. What they're doing is picking up on that strong bond of energetic emotion that's being passed. Okay, so you may have more of this skill than you realise. It is something to harness and utilise properly. You will have had it at some level in terms of you picking up unconsciously on other people's thoughts and emotions. So, for instance, when you go into certain environments and your mood changes and your thoughts change, what you're doing is then picking up on other people's thoughts and emotions. It's not just your own. So sometimes that can become quite a clouded area, so you don't know which is yours and which is somebody else's. So quite often in the opening stages for an intuitive person who's highly sensitive, who's psychic, what you'll then find is that you are keen to remove yourself from various different situations. So you're not keen on or being in a busy environment, and the reason that you're not keen on it is it suddenly exhausts you, it drains you, it makes you feel uncomfortable. And the reason being is because the skill of telepathy is being driven in you in an unconscious way. So what's happening is you are, when you're not especially wanting to, picking up on those thoughts and feelings and situations going on for other people, and maybe occasionally you're even picking up on their direct thoughts, okay, and maybe thinking that those are your own. Quite often it's difficult to tell the difference, especially in the early stages. So this is something that is a very good area to understand, at least, and I would say definitely, if it is something that you have quite strongly, it is an area to harness, to be able to utilise where appropriate, but also to be able to put to one side when you really don't want to know about other people's lives. People often ask me, in fact I'm asked all the time, can you ever switch it off? Yes, you can switch it off if you have developed your skill. If you haven't developed your skill, then what tends to happen is it can overtake you. Okay, so you then find yourself picking up on unsavoury emotions, thoughts and emotions of other people, things that you really don't want to pick up on. Maybe they're in a bad mood, they're irritable, all that kind of stuff, and then suddenly you're in a bad mood and you're irritable, and you think, well, this just isn't me. I don't like it. I don't feel comfortable. And then what you find yourself doing is withdrawing, and it can then affect aspects of your self-worth, your self-esteem, because you're constantly affected by other people's thoughts and emotions. Now, it's not something that you have to deal with all the time. It is something that can be managed, and also managed to the degree where you can use that skill when it's required, and you can also put it to bed if it's not something that you wish to entertain. Okay, and especially if you want in different situations, for instance social situations and things like that, when you really don't want to be picking up on other people's thoughts and emotions. So in order for you to understand that a little bit further, and also the other sensory skills, perhaps you have telepathy as your strongest area, and perhaps you have clairvoyance as your second strongest area. Putting those two together, it is a very strong psychic skill. So for you to be able to understand that better and to really utilise it, but also to know what to do with it, I have developed a couple of items for you, well, several items for you. They are free. It's not something that you put in your details in and then you've got to pay for or anything like that. It's free. But in order for me to be able to send you those details on your extrasensory skills, and for you to really understand them in a deeper way, you have to put in your details, I'm afraid, because we have to be sure it's something that you've asked for. It's not something that we're just randomly sending you. Okay, so in order for me to be able to send them to you, you need to put your details in below, so that I can do that for you. So pop your details in, and I will instantly send forward to you further details on how to develop your intuitive skills. I'll speak to you soon.